Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, take a look at another real grade Gunpla. This is the RX93 New Gundam. Yeah, we took a look at the High New Gundam, which was basically a retelling of the original story with this suit. This is just the standard New Gundam. And I have to say, this is probably like one of my most fun builds for real grade. I believe this was like one of the first Gundams that they done an entire just inner frame for and didn't use the advanced MS joint for anything apart from the fin funnels. That's the only place you find it. But yeah, the New Gundam, the High New Gundam, it was really fun to build, I'll be honest, but there was a lot of extra parts to that that kind of made it take a bit longer. Whereas this one, I was finished building it in about a day. So yeah, I'm thinking this may be my favourite build. Like, probably not my favourite overall Gundam, although I can see the appeal. I can see why Japan ranks this as probably their favourite Gundam of all time. Yeah, I can see the appeal. I'd like the more muted colours. Like, usually Gundams are bright reds and blues and yellows. This one, it's a really dark navy blue instead of the light blue. And there is less of the other colours. It's basically just navy blue and white with sprinklings of red and yellow everywhere. So yeah, I'm really like it. One thing, like I did take a look at reviews, and obviously I have the bootleg of the entry grade here to compare later on. But the one thing a lot of people didn't like when this kit first came out was they curved the face a bit, like they rounded it off. Whereas the original New Gundam design had a very angular look to it, which they did put back into the High New Gundam. But yeah, kind of a shame that they changed it for this one. Not that I'm complaining too much, I still absolutely love how the face looks on this guy. But yeah, enough of my ramblings. Let's take a look at this massive box. So yeah, I'll be honest, I thought the High New Gundam's box was big. Oh boy, this is just as big, if not quite as deep. In fact, looking at the comparison between the boxes, I would almost say this one is bigger overall. Like, not deeper, but a bigger surface area for the mobile suit. So yeah, I'm going to struggle showing this off. We can see Bandai Spirit's 2019, made in Japan. So yeah, this kit is about 6 years old at this point. And I'll be honest, it still holds up just fine. Like, this is the equivalent of a brand new kit, in my opinion. Like, it holds up that well. It is getting up in price these days. I managed to snag it on an Easter deal, even though Easter was weeks long past by the time I got it, but by the time I bought it, rather. But yeah, I managed to get it for £42, which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. This guy surprisingly goes for more than the High New Gundam does usually. So yeah, I'm happy with the price overall. Like, it's definitely something I wanted in my collection sooner or later. So I'm glad I got it sooner. But yeah, take a look here. We have RX93. The V is New Gundam. I think a subscriber. Sorry, my head's like a sieve with this. When I reviewed the entry grade, I'm sure they said it was like Greek or Roman for the V actually being new. So yeah, We'll accept that. Loan Bell unit, Armor Arrays, use mobile suit for new type. Again, piloted by Amuro Ray. This is from the animated movie Chars Counterattack. Obviously, the High New Gundam is from the retelling. So, yeah, this is the original version. We've got the blurb down the bottom. It's quite funny. Like, every time I read this blurb, it always says possible range of movement are equipped on a pre-assembled inner frame. No, it isn't. Bandai, you liars. Apart from very few missteps, aka the Akatsuki, yeah, the mobile suits don't really use the pre-assembled advanced MS joint anymore. So, yeah, Bandai, you're going to have to change that at some point. But yeah, we just have a really nice render of both the head and the mobile suit there. Really nice. I'm just picking up the camera just so you can see more of the box. We have on the side here, we have the same render again. Picture of the assembled inner frame on its own. Yes, a lot of these suits you can just build them up without the armor pieces on the front, and they still look quite cool. But I am not buying a second mobile suit just to do that. Yeah, it just shows what the mobile suit can do, all the moving armor pieces, etc. I can't get the sides into frame, but they're just the same render again. Apologies, headphone users. And we have some poses on this side, which is very, very fun. Obviously, a lot of the kit is undergated, so while it takes a bit longer to cut out of the runner, it still looks really good when it's done, because there's no like visible nub marks. There's honestly, there is some, but it's not really noticeable anyway. This dark navy blue plastic is an absolute nightmare for nub marks, so bear that in mind if you end up buying it. I will leave a link in the description for the Amazon listing to it. Purchase that if you so choose. But yeah, try and look around for prices, and be like me, you might get a deal. So yeah, let's get the box out of the way and take a look at what he comes with. So, in true real grade style, there is an absolute metric ton of accessories you get in this box. So much so that I am going to leave the fin funnels as a separate part. And I'll bring up the camera just to show how that looks. Because they do all separate and things like that, so yeah, we'll show that. But in terms of the accessories laid out in front of us right here, we have the shield, which is absolutely massive. It's almost the same height as the Gundam, so you can imagine how big that would be in real life. I have put on the real grade stickers that it asks me to, and also added a few extras here and there just to give it that extra bit of detail. Just noticed that one is coming off. That's not great. So yeah, it's very similar looking to the High New Gundam's version, only it's just in white with the sort of red details on it instead. So yeah, I really, really like it. I love the Amuro Ray symbol that he uses for the new Gundam. Really, really like it. But yeah, I love all these extra bits of detail. This is exactly why I don't use every single sticker that comes on a real grade. I save some, and then I can do things like this, where I just add even more detail and make it look insanely good. So yeah, the inside is grey. I did add a little bit of gunmetal to make it pop a little, just to those sort of vents and to the screws and things. Bit of red down there for the missiles, and then I added a little bit of gunmetal to the tip as well, just to make that pop. The way this fits on the new Gundam is nowhere near as good as what they did with the Hi-Nu, unfortunately. This is just a clip that swivels, and it does pivot as well. But yeah, unfortunately the way it attaches to the new Gundam is very finicky, unless I'm doing something wrong. Like, I don't think I am. But yeah, it barely holds on, for me at least. So yeah, bit of a disappointment, bit finicky. We have this, which is the Tamashii stage adapter. Again, I don't know why they do this with real grades in particular, but you need a specific type of Tamashii stage for this to work. Plus, I don't know how much I would even trust this to begin with, because all that's basically holding it onto the mobile suit is a C-clip, and we all know what those are like. So yeah, if you have to, just use a grabber. Like, that's what I do. We have the Hyper Bazooka, which again is the same as we've seen on the Hi-Nu Gundam, or should we say the Hi-Nu Gundams is the same as this, because they just basically copied it over. Slight difference in this top part. You pop that up and slot it in between his thrusters and his backpack for storage. So yeah, very nice. It's nice navy blue here with some red for the rockets sticking out, and it also extends for even more bazooka blasting action. The handle there works for both the standard holding hand and the trigger finger hand, so yeah, no issues there. I don't tend to personally use the bazooka part though. You get this piece, which I don't think it tells you to build, but there is all the pieces there for it. Not only is this a spare part in case for some reason your C-clip breaks on you, although they haven't reinforced it quite well. Yeah, this is for the fin funnels. This is where it connects to the backpack. They give you two because there is a kit you can get to give him a second set of fin funnels to sort of make it uniform on his back. I prefer the sort of one side look to it. It's a bit abnormal, so yeah, I like that. You can also buy one with both, but it's at a premium. I don't see why you would do that, honestly. Like, to be honest. You can also get a set for this guy with the extra armor, but it makes it look quite bizarre, and it's like an in-between the new Gundam and the Hi-Nu Gundam in terms of looks. Yeah, I don't like it at all. So yeah, won't be getting that. We get a little tiny Amuro Ray on the runner. Be very careful with this guy. Unfortunately, my hero Yui that I got from the Wing Zero, the little figurine took a tumble and immediately broke off the base that it's on. So yeah, just be careful with these. I can see why Bandai no longer packages them with the mobile suits. The Hi-Nu Gundam didn't have one. So yeah, we have his beam rifle, which is very nice. One thing I will say about it though, the actual barrel part, it was very wobbly on there, so I had to glue it just to like stick it in place, because it really wasn't sitting nice at all. Yeah, I put a little bit of gunmetal on the exposed part in between the gun handle, and yeah, really nice. Do really like it. There is a peg there that you can pop out one side or the other. It fits onto the back of his skirt piece, so yeah, really nice. We get two beam sabers with 3 blades for some reason. I'm not sure why. We get this one, which is just a tiny little beam saber with really light pink beam effect. I don't think I've seen this specific colour before. We've got plenty of pinks, but not in this shade, which is yeah, quite strange. Pops on and off easy enough. He says as he has to put some force into it for some reason, and then tries to do it on camera. But yeah, this just fits into the back of his forearm, which is a little bit finicky, but it's quite cool that it's stored there. Really nice. We also get the beam saber that is unique to the new Gundam. This is, well, it's basically a massive version. Fits on his back shoulder. We have this little handle piece here, which is nice. We have this little dagger at the back, so it's basically a dual-bladed beam saber. And we have this really unique shaped blade for it, which is almost katana-like in design. I do quite like that. The entry grades had more of a razor sort of design on it. I prefer this. It's just the straight beam. Well, I say straight, it's slightly curved. But yeah, really nice, I do like it. And finally, in terms of hands, which are all over the place after moving everything, we get a pair of fists, we get a pair of splayed open hands, we get a pair of beam saber holding hands, which have a nice little hinge in them to give us some more range. Very nice. And finally we get one trigger finger hand, which is specifically for the beam saber, and basically means you can't use the beam saber in his other hand, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know why they're specifically cheaping out with that. Like, would it really have cost you that much more, Bandai, to give us a second trigger finger hand? But yeah, ayo. But yeah, let's take a look at the fin funnels now. So, in terms of the fin funnels, we get them like so. It's basically just an advanced MS joint in the middle that works the hinges. Obviously, these connect differently than the high news does. But yeah, really nice. I do like them. They pop off easily enough. Every single one of them has the same mechanism. These are by far the worst part of the build, because you have to make 6 of them. They're all identical. They're all multiple parts. But yeah, once it's done, it's done. You don't have to do it again. Plus it completes the look of the new Gundam, so it's worth it. But yeah, really nice. I do like them. There's a lot of detail here, and a lot of paneling opportunities. I basically paneling the hell out of the white bits. So yeah, there is a specific peg hole here, if we can see it. So you need a specific stand adapter to put these in the air, because obviously you can hinge these like so, and basically have them flying towards the enemy, firing off energy effects, which are sold separately, obviously. What, you thought they'd come with it? No. But yeah, simple enough, and very nice, and quite secure, I have to add. I am not sure if they will remain that way, but as of right now, there's just a little bit of flex to them, but they're not popping off, and they definitely don't pop off at the shoulder. It's really tight connection. So yeah, I do like it. So, taking a look at the new Gundam itself now. I will keep these off the Gundam for now, because it's much easier to show the details and things for it. But basically, that C-clip goes into that peg, and it just holds securely in place up there. So yeah, bear that in mind. So yeah, quickly showing how the shield, according to what I read anyway, It's supposed to pop on right there, and it kind of holds, but it's kind of a loose connection as well, except when you actually pull on it, the forearm comes off instead. So yeah, kind of a strange one there. Not sure if I'd be better off gluing the forearm armor in place. But yeah, just while we're here, while that bit's popped off, the beam saber, they tell you to put this little sticker on there, just so you know exactly where it's meant to go. There is, if this popped down properly, there we go. There's a little peg in there, and it's kind of finicky to kind of get it to go in there. But yeah, that didn't work at all. 2 seconds. So yeah, word of caution, don't do that while it's out the forearm, or the little hinge mechanism will just pop out. But yeah, I definitely think I'm going to just glue that piece in place, because it's not holding very securely. But yeah, the shield, it kind of holds, but not great, unfortunately. So yeah. As for the details on the kit, actually really nice. I love all the added detail that Real Grade puts in. I mean, it started off, like when I started this journey doing model kits, I didn't like the added detail, but I mean, the more I've done it, the more I like it. It's weird how that works. But yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. Unlike the Hi-Nu Gundam, they are not just for show. Most of these moving parts are specifically for the sort of armor add-on that you get. So these parts move out like so. If I can get that bit just popped off, that's lovely. A lot of these are quite tight. There we go. So those parts do move as well. You have to move them in the correct way or they just pop off. That is my fault, not the fault of the suit. These skirt pieces move as well. And obviously when you move the knee, this upper armor piece will move, followed then by the lower part of the knee. Not quite as intricate as the Hi-Nu Gundams, but there is less armor here, so I'll let them off with it. Plus, this kit is like, I think, 2 years prior to the Hi-Nus. So yeah, there's a bit of a difference. Down here on the leg part, I can't work out how it's supposed to move properly. But yeah, you do get some nice metallic sticker detail behind that. Obviously, what's supposed to happen is the sort of shin guard moves out the way and just exposes a tiny little bit of that metallic detailing. But yeah, I can't get it to move consistently. So yeah, bit of a shame. In terms of the head, as I said before, it's got that more rounded look that we are used to with Gundams. But yeah, this guy was meant to have a more menacing look. If I quickly bring in the Hi-Nu for comparison, or quick comparison, we'll not do the full one. Yeah, you can see the more angular look to this kit as opposed to that one. So yeah, quite a strange change that they've done. Kind of glad they changed it back, but that's not to say this one is a bad helmet in any regards. But yeah, overall, really nice mobile suit, lots of detail, and lots of exposed inner parts coming through the armour, which is always a bonus. In terms of articulation, we have quite a lot. The sort of where the base of the neck connects to the chest, that hinges, so he can look up quite a bit. He can look down insanely far as well. We get swivel and pivot. And all of that pops back down as well to give it a more uniform look. Arms can go basically all the way up, like pretty much unimpeded, and the only thing that gets in the way is his own head. So yeah, really good. This sort of butterfly hinge right here moves so far forward he could pretty much cross his arms by himself. So that's quite insane. Just watch all of this mechanism. It is a little bit delicate looking. Yeah, that all just collapses back in. The shoulder armor does have this sort of opening gimmick, so you can have it aim a bit more and still have the shoulder visible. It's one thing I don't like about the mobile suits, is usually when you have him aiming at something with his gun, you can't see the shoulder armor because it's moved. So yeah, handy to have. Bicep swivel in there. Double joint at the elbow, gets pretty much the full range. The only thing getting in the way is literally the shoulder armor. So yeah, you can't ask for more than that. We have the movement in the wrist to give him a bit more range of motion there. Ball peg at the wrist. Unfortunately, because this is an older kit, we do not yet have the advancement they made with the new Gundam, where you can swivel the bottom half of his elbow, so you still have the uniformity of the shield on his side while still keeping the elbow looking correct. So bit of a shame there, but what are you going to do? The ab articulation, you can pull it all the way out like that, and that gives you some insane range of motion. Goes down that much and back just as far, although it looks as if he's broken half. Yeah, works really well. Swivel there. There is a sort of pivot at the waist, which is insane to think about. It's actually in the leg section. You wouldn't expect that, but it's there. These skip pieces move out the way like that. You can kick up so far, but it pops out the way. Again, since it's an older kit, we don't yet have the swivel out mechanism to get him to kick further, but I would say that's plenty anyway. He can kick back a bit until he is impeded by his skirt. He can, I believe, do the splits. We can move these side skirts out of the way. There we go, we'll move that one at the front. And yeah, you can do the splits just fine. No issues at all. I forgot to mention in the new Gundams review, but there is a sort of mechanism in the hips to basically pull down the legs and give him even more range and even more height. But it's so complex, I'm not going to do it. Like, for the minimal amount of extra articulation you get, it's just not worth it to me. So just know it is there, but I'm not showing it. And this video is already getting long enough. We have thigh rotation, double joint at the knee, gets that much there, really nice, and it all segments, like I said before, really nice. These pieces here do move slightly, but they do have a tendency to pop off at the side, so there you go. Feet can go, if you just use the hinge in the middle, they can go back that far. You can also pivot the hinge itself, and that's how that bit moves, right? So actually pivoting the ball hinge at the ankle, that's what makes the leg armor move. Gotcha. Things you learn. So we can go forward that much. Can't pivot forward, can only pivot back. Feet can go forward like that though, and some decent ankle articulation for how bulky this suit is. Yeah, I know that's how that works. That's a game changer. There is a consistent way to work it. So yeah, overall, just an insanely nice model kit. I know a lot of kits have came out since this that shook the game up a bit, including the RX78 2.0. But in my opinion, yeah, this is the most fun build I have had. Oh, and before I forget, is there a way for me to reach that? This red section here can swivel up to give you a look at what should be the cockpit, but it's basically just an empty space in there. But it's fun for posing opportunities and such. So yeah, really nice. And let's put the fin funnels on here, like so. It does get a little bit top heavy when the fin funnels are added, so bear that in mind. There we go. He's not quite stable there, but yeah, shield goes on like that. And yeah, looking really good. So let's take a quick look at comparisons, because he is a big boy, really big. Here he is next to his different universe counterpart, the Hainu Gundam. And yeah, the Hainu Gundam is just bulkier in pretty much every way, although slightly shorter, sorry, but that is correct for like the in-universe scaling to them. Don't ask me why, but it is. You can see a lot of similarities to it. This is basically just the new Gundam with some added bulk and a backpack to better store the fin funnels. But yeah, I really don't know what one I prefer. Like, I prefer the colour scheme to this, being from Scotland. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think I prefer this guy, his overall look. I know that's blasphemy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy building both kits, but yeah, I need to give the crown to someone. Here he is next to the bootleg entry grade new Gundam that I built a few months ago now, or is that a month or so, something like that. He is not holding up too well. Yeah, the plastic on the bootleg is not holding up too great. But yeah, you can see the entry grade, like, it still holds up decently, and if you can get a hold of an official entry grade, it would still be a decent part in your collection. So yeah, but if you can, get the real grade. Definitely get the official real grade. And here he is, height comparison wise, to the granddaddy, the RX78-2. And you can see there is quite a bit of difference in height here. I mean, the new Gundam's shield is almost the exact same size as the RX alone. And the fin funnels definitely are. Like, bonkers how much taller suits got before they got really tiny, as seen with the Crossbone Gundam, which May or may not be one of my next real grades. We'll find out. But yeah, the real grade Wing Gundam, the Wing Zero, sorry, is definitely on my radar. That's out the end of this year. So stay tuned for that. I'll be getting that as soon as it releases. Fingers crossed. And the scalpers don't get it first. But yeah. But yeah, guys. As I said before, link will be in the description if you want to buy it. I'll put a link to this guy and the Hi-Nu Gundam. Might as well put them both, just so you can choose. Obviously, most collectors worth a grain of salt at this point probably have both of these kits. But I was just starting out, so this is for anyone else starting out. Get these kits before they're gone forever. Seriously. But yeah, guys, I'll leave a link in the description for both of them. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.